Hi, everyone. Now we're going to start assignment two. This is chapter three in your book. And this is where we're going to, for the video portion, I'm just going to be covering the develop your skills portion of the textbook, which is going to happen in the QuickBooks test drive. And that's the part that doesn't save. It's just a practice area. You don't turn anything in here from the test drive, but it does go over every concept that we'll be using for your homework, which will happen in the puppy love file in the reinforce your skills and apply your skills part of the textbook. So here, I'm just going to be going over the stuff that will be in your homework, going through the test drive to do it, and you can follow along if you'd like. So first thing we want to do is add some new customers here. We'll go up here. Here are our apps again. And if we click one, they will appear here on the left side. So we'll click customers here. Go down to customers. And it'll take a little second to load. And then we're going to put in the new customer. And here we'll put in Edward. And I'm just going to pause the video real quick and put in the rest of the information so you don't have to see me type. Be right back. Okay, actually, I forgot to share my screen, so you didn't see anything anyway. Here we go. I'll share my screen, and you can see that I have typed in Edward Bruce, and the customer display name will automatically pop up there if you put in Edward and Bruce here. Put in his fake email. I made an even faker phone number. And here's his name here on what to print on checks, and you go down there and there's his address. So this new information here. We'll save it. And when this reloads, we'll see that Edward Bruce is now on that list. It just went to his page. We'll reload this, and once it decides to load, there's Edward Bruce. And now what we're going to do is add a sub customer. In this case, it's a job for Edward Bruce here, but for your homework, you will want to be adding each pet as a sub customer to the owner of the pet. This is to just basically have more accurate record keeping so that you'll, if dog Fluffy gets this kind of, treatment or grooming, and Muffy gets a different grooming that'll, just have them separated like that. And so this is pretty easy to do. So we will just, we don't need to click on Edward Bruce, excuse me. We'll go back to customers and we'll click new customer again. And in this case, we'll go down and we will click that they are a sub customer. That's a, kind of do this in any order, but I kind of like to go in and do sub customer first. And the first name here, again, is, we don't have a name, so we're going to go right down here to the customer display name because it's front yard landscaping. And this is again for better record keeping and for, say Edward Bruce had, we built a deck, we do his landscaping, we planted some trees, this, that, or the other, so that you'll have those jobs separated out individually under this overall individual Edward Bruce under his name. So it's all just not squished there together. You could do everything under his name if you wanted to. There's nothing stopping you. It's just that this particular business and the business that we will be using in our homeworks have chosen to do it that way. But here we go. So again, we just click here that it's front yard landscaping. It is a sub customer. We'll go in here and we'll find Edward Bruce, click there. And of course, we don't want the name to print on checks to be front yard landscaping because that's not a person. We'll go in here and we'll put in Edward Bruce. And I'll spell it right. Okay, anything else to put there? And bill parent customer, it comes in checked already. We'll save here. And now what's going to happen is this job here is going to be just under Edward's name. Save it. See it as it's kind of indented there, and we'll go back to the customer list. We'll see it there too. There's Edward Bruce, and we see, yeah, there's his landscaping job. If we had other sub customers, they would just keep going under his main name there. See Freeman Sporting Goods here. There are two sub customers here, one for the Ocean View Road and one for the 55 Twin Lane. Okay, and so that's you've added a customer, you're gonna added a sub customer. You're gonna be doing a whole lot of that during the course of the class because there are a lot of customers and a lot of dogs coming in. Next thing we want to do is bring in a list of customers. If we had it on a different file, instead of entering them all individually, let's say we had them as an Excel file, which is what we use here, and we will import that to our company so that we can then, we don't have to re-enter those customers if we've got them on this Excel file anyway. And you'll find this Excel file in your student handouts, and you want the new you want import customers XLSX. I have already gotten that file out onto my desktop here. So I'm going to go in here and under new customer, just like we have with the other stuff, we're going to import customers here. And in this case, we're going to browse and import customers is right there. Open it up. And I'm going to click next. You'll have one of these for your homework as well, except it will be import clients because remember we changed customers to clients for Puppy Love. Click here. This is just matching the information on the spreadsheet to QuickBooks' fields for importing customers. We'll click next here and we will click done and it will bring these people in. There is in your homework a part where you're adding multiple customers and it looks kind of like this. Make sure that you put their phone numbers in this style because if you don't, it won't import it into it won't save it into the customers' profiles. It still might not anyway. So when you get to I believe it's Silva and Steve Wynn, just check those to make sure that your phone numbers have saved. Okay, so we're going to click done here, and it's going to import these three. What do we have? We had John Stewart, we had Ellen Sands, and we had Doris Smith, and now we see, hey, there's John Stewart. Hey, there's Ellen Sands, and there's Doris Smith. So those have all been imported correctly. The next thing we want to do is edit, merge, or make a customer inactive. Editing makes sense. They changed their address. Somebody put them in and they made a typo. We'll just edit it and fix that. Merging is when you have, it can happen a couple of ways. Actually, a typo could cause this. You have someone spelled, what was it, John Stewart, Jon? Maybe somebody has also it under JOHN and you realize that someone's made a mistake, so you just want to merge those together because it's all the same person. Or you find out that this person actually owns this business and you've done business with both and you want to merge them together. Could be a number of reasons. And then making a customer inactive is just when that customer, for whatever reason, might go away. A business goes out of business. A person tells you they're never going to work there or never going to use your business again, whatever. There's plenty of reasons, but this is when a customer just sort of, we want to take them off of our records because we only want active customers in our main list because it's just clutter otherwise. So we go in here. What are we doing here? We're changing the address of Cool Cars. So we go in here and we just click anywhere on that line and it brings up the main Cool Cars. Again, got all these pop-ups. Get here to this main Cool Cars page, and here's where we edit it. Go in here, and we're changing the address to somewhere. So it's from 65 to, anything else the same? Yes, to 15851 Ocean Drive. You save it, it's edited. That's fine. Now we have discovered that Rago Travel Agency is actually owned by John Melton, and we're going to merge these records. So we will go back here. We're going to choose Rago from the list once this loads. Okay. Under this edit dropdown, we're going to merge the contact. And we're going to merge this into John Melton. And we can go down here and just find him here. If you started typing it, it would come up. And we want to merge these contacts. And so now what's going to happen is Rago gets deleted because it got merged into John Melton, who should still be here on our list. So we go, and there he is. And so any transactions that we had with Raygo Travel would have been then merged and brought in to this John Melton uh, account. And what we could also do in this case, if we wanted to, we could actually go in and make a Raygo travel agency as a sub account if that made sense, or kind of whatever. But in this case, they just want us to merge them. And lastly, we're going to make a customer inactive, and that is Wedding Planning by Whitney. I believe she's gone out of business. Yep, no longer inactive. It doesn't really say why. Let's just say that she retired. And so all we do here is go down here. Kind of a lot of lists of things that we can do with our customers here. You can kind of do a lot with the customer field, but here we just want to make her inactive. And you get, are you sure? Because it will take her off the list. And she's gone. She's not gone kind of forever, though. She is still here. If we go under our gear, and here we go. And under other, include inactive. Do this. I'll go back down, and there she is. But it is noted that she has been deleted from the. But if you want to bring her back, you don't have to enter all the information. You sort of undelete her. And so that's that. It's just sort of, you know, here's a customer, adding a customer, adding a sub customer, bringing in from a list of customers, and then editing, merging, or making inactive or deleting customers that you have. The next thing that we're going to do is record some sales transactions. You'll be doing a lot of these. They are going to be entirely through sales receipts and invoices. The first thing it has us do here and develop your skills 3-4 is changing the style. I guess I'll show you this. It doesn't really kind of matter too much. What matters is, doing the sales receipts. And I don't believe, maybe you do it in your homework, but either way, you may or may not do the custom form in your homework. But let's take a look and see what you do anyway. So we go over here, we go back to the gear. And we go to your company custom form styles. And this is where you can kind of personalize invoices or sales receipts, just sort of, put your logo on there, put a little message for your customers, things that sort of make it more tailored to you and your company. And here, what are we going to do? We're doing a new style. Yep, we're going to do a new style, and it's going to be a sales receipt. And this shows you, this is the example of what we're seeing right now. And as we go through it, you can see what we change here. Let's see what we change. And we want to change this from my sales receipt template to my new sales receipt. And I'm just going to do my new SR. Okay. All right. So we have these templates here, and as I click on them, they will change in the preview on the right. That's bold, that's friendly. They wanted us to do airy classic. I believe that's what we might have come in on, but that's what it is. And there's not just a ton of these, but there's a few to kind of change it up a little bit. You could add your unique logo here. That would be if you did go in and put in your the puppy love logo. We don't have to do that here. It would give us one here, but it would show up right there. Okay, splash on some color, and it wants us to pick the green color with the value pound 79 BD 58. And you just kind of have to hover over them to see, or you just click them. Yeah, you click them to see what their no numeration is here, and you'll see their pay turn green. Get choosy with your font. Some fonts. Can't get too choosy because there's only 4 here, but there, if you change them, you can see fonts, right? And then you could print it out if you want to. We do not want to do that. Then you go to the content tab here. And as you click into each of these 3 sections of the sales receipt, there are things that you can add or take away from that sales receipt. Like, hey, if I wanted to take out Craig's business, or excuse me, Craig's design business name, click that. If I wanted to include the phone number, I guess I have to add that phone number, which I 0555 555 -5. Oh, great. Oh, one missed five. And there it's added. And so you can just go through here, click on or off things that you want to add here. So we would take, maybe we want to take the street address off, something like that. That's what that's, in this section we can, do different things. We have a little message here, add a footer text. This, which would go down here. You can add a message. Um, you know, thanks for the money, and it's down here. Is there anything else kind of to look at here? Is just, if you're emailing them, you can edit the email that you would send if you're going to email them, which we're not. So, but that's how you go through. There are some of these personalization, I guess templates you'd call them, built into QuickBooks. There's not a ton, but there is some. And is that everything there? Yeah. Okay. So that's how you would go through the different steps to personalize it. But what we actually want to do here is get out of here. We'll go back home and we're going to do some sales receipts, at least one or two or three. Do a couple of them. Okay. And so here on Develop Your Skills 3-5, again, if you've got the print textbook, it might say plus new, but plus create does the same thing, and then under this new interface. And we will go down here and we will choose sales receipt, which is right here. Then we'll bring one up. Again, it shows us all the stuff that we don't care about, but here we'll go in and we're going to do this. This is going to be the Edward Bruce front yard landscaping. And we want to make sure that we select the sub customer because this is the actual job we're working on. When you're working with the pets in Puppy Love, you'll want to go down and select the name of the pet, not the individual person. There's a Jason Ridgway, and I think his dog is King. You would select King instead of Jason Ridgway because when you select the sub account, you get the parent account right in front of them, and then a little colon, and then the name of the job or the name of the sub customer there. So we do that. Our sales receipt date is going to be 09/01/2029. Do that. You can also, if you want to do your date, just 09/01/29. We'll take it. Save you some typing. Again, this will be, I don't know how many times I've said it so far, but maybe none. But if I haven't, you really want to make sure that you watch your dates as you were entering your information, especially with your own companies, because once we get to the section on bank reconciliation, having your dates messed up can mess you up. And I'll talk about that when I get there. But really, you do want to watch your dates. You'll maybe see me mess that up a few times here, but it is one thing you want to watch. And when we do deposit too, this is another one we want to make sure that we do. Oh, and this is, hang on a second here. This is a check, reference number 4511. You want to make sure that you're going to undeposited funds for this. Make sure of this for your company. This is a mistake that people make kind of a lot, is that they deposit and it defaults, I think in your company, defaults to checking. But we're not depositing to checking here because what this is, it's a physical check. Or like if you were at a store and you paid cash, that is money, or check, which is money, but that you have to actually physically take to the bank to deposit. So if this were an online transaction, you could definitely you go directly into the account. But this is actual physical check or physical cash. And so until we deposit that, and we will deposit it later in this assignment, but until we deposit that, it goes into undeposited funds. I wish we did have sort of an artificial bank that we could do some electronic transactions for, but we don't. It's just not how the course is set up. Kind of have a lot of moving parts there if you needed to. So this is what this is how we do it. So just make sure that when you're doing these, when you're receiving payments, all of that stuff, you want to go into undeposited funds instead of directly to your checking account. So after that, put in undeposited funds, and the product here, should we go down here, is, if you wanted to put in service date, again, you just put the same date, then September 1st. Product and service here is custom design. And because these have all been set up, by into it. It's already in the system. And in this case, we're making our rate $500. We'll just change that. And there's only one of those. And here it says save, but what we want to do is record. Again, these are the same. It's kind of the changes in the different interfaces versus the book. Again, if you have the ebook, it probably says record, but record, save, the same thing here. And I'm just going to record it because I'm not going to record and close it yet because the next part talks about looking at the transaction journal. And I'm going to do this, kind of talks about it a couple places. I'm only going to do this once, but I'll show you where to look. And this, if we go, what this is going to show is that the journaling that you will have done if you've taken accounting classes up, other than this one before, you have your journaling, you have your debits and your credits, and you sort of do that journaling to ledger to financial report process. Even though you don't see it happening in QuickBooks, all that stuff is happening. There is a journal behind the scenes that is being created with every transaction you make, or most transactions you make. And so if we go to more here, we can actually go in and see that transaction. So more, and we'll see transaction journal here. And we'll wait for it to load. If you ever try to load one of these things, maybe it doesn't load right away, you can refresh the page and it should bring it up. But in here we have the sales receipt here and the design income. And looks like there was $40 of some sort of sales tax on here, which will be the Board of Equalization payable. And so, we have the debit here and we have our credits. They add up to the same because that's, sort of the following the same rules of accounting and the fundamental accounting equation. And I bring this up and show it to you here again. It'll have you do it a couple of times. But I'm only going to do it once and it just shows you what's happening behind the scenes, which, follows those same rules that we've already learned. Okay, so there's that. And we'll just go. Let's see what the easiest way to go. We'll just go back home here because that sales receipt was already saved because I did record it. And now we'll go on to the next one, which is going to be an invoice. Go under create, plus create, and invoice is right here. This is the sales receipt is when they're paying us cash or a check at the time of the transaction, and an invoice is when we are billing them. So we are going from, again, from accounting classes from our cash account to our accounts receivable account. So this is going to be an accounts receivable transaction. That's what an invoice is. It's a bill that we send out that gets paid later. And in this case, we're going to invoice Bill's Windsurf Shop. There's a whole lot of these pop-ups. The stupid AI assistant. It's all dumb and useless. Not that I would make any comments about the quality of the product, but you don't really need it. Here we have, what do we want to do? Bill's Windsurf Shop. Okay, Bill's Windsurf Shop. Anything you need to add here? Again, we want to make sure that that date is September the 1st and 29. The terms here is the default is net 30, and that just means that the bill will be due in 30 days. Pest control is the service. Start typing pest. There's pest control. And what else do we have here? Okay, it looks like there's just one of those. And we will save it. And we can review and send. This is if we were going to email it out as well, because we're not going to be doing that. We'll just go ahead and save and close it. Again, this is another option where the textbook talks about going into the transaction journal, which you can do if you did just save it, because there's more actions, but we don't need to do that. We did it for the last one. You can look if you want. And here we'll save and close it. And so now that is how you would make a sale using, if someone was paying cash, that's sales receipt, or somebody's paying with a check, that's sales receipt. And if we're sending off a bill, that's an invoice. Now we're going to look at price rules, and price rules are pretty handy. They set up price rules for a certain class of customers, for certain individual customers if you want. It's an automatic discount that is applied to the sales made to them because of some reason. You could do it for every customer, like say, hey, we're having a 4th of July sale and everything's 10% off. You could do that if you want. Here in this case, it's for a certain class of customers. I think it's new customers for this one. Yep, it's new pest control. So we'll go in here and we'll show you how to, first you have to turn on the price rules and then you have to create it. So you turn it on going into the gear and you go into account and settings and it's under the sales tab. And things not quite right. Well, let's not worry about that. Price rules here. They're turned off by default. Just gotta go here, click them on, save it. Now they're on. Done. You'll also be setting your terms for your invoices and your homework. This is where you do that. You'll make it net 15. You don't do it here. I mean, you'll hit the little pencil there. There's net 15 for your homework. That's what the setting will be, just as a heads up. We'll click done here. And now those settings have been saved. So now price rules are active. We will go back to the gear and we will go to all lists. And, oh, look, my bad. We gotta do something else first. We have to actually set up the customer first. I'll show you, this is price rules. This is where we'll be coming. But first we need to actually set up the customer because they are a new customer that we're going to give this discount to. So we'll go back home, go back to customers, and set up this new customer here. We don't have a lot of information about it. We just have the name and the address, and I'm only going to put in the name. Honestly, we don't need to put that address in. We're just going to put in Designs by Kim Christian. And that's really all we need. I'm going to make that the company name as well. And that's all we need. We could go in there and put in that address, but again, this is just practice. You'll be, excuse me, putting in a lot of addresses on your own, so you'll get a lot of practice. So we put in Kim Christian, and now we go back to that list. We go back to all lists, and right here under the product categories is price rules. Oh, good. This is one where you may have to refresh the page. There we go. A lot of times, and it kind of happens a little bit more in the test drive, it's a little bit more janky, but if something like that happens, you have a page that says, oh, try again later. First thing you want to do is refresh the page, and it may work right away as it did here. And so we're going to create that rule. And the information is here on this page. And the rule name is new pest control. So this is going to be new pest control. And here, again, this is all of our customers, so everybody's on here, but we're not going to do that. We're going to select individually because we don't want it for everyone. We just want this to be the new customers, and we'll set who those customers are. And it's not for everything here. It's just pest control. So we can scroll down, and there it is. It's going to be a percentage off. We don't need to change that. It could be like a flat amount, but we don't, we don't want to do that. We're going to decrease it by how much? 10%. A nice 10% discount for our new pest control customers. There's no rounding because we don't care. And we could go ahead and set the date to whenever. It doesn't really matter. We're just going to make it active now. And it also kind of shows us what the pest control will be, the price after the discount is given. So we want to make sure that Kim Christian gets this discount. And so we'll go from here. There's the products and services. It shows us how much it's going to be decreased by. We click customers here, and we can add customers to that rule. And here we'll go in there, and we'll go and find Designs by Kim Christian. And there she is. And if we wanted to add anybody else, we could just keep adding. But in the case for this example, we're just doing it for this one particular company. Do we need to do anything else? I don't believe we do. It says apply rule, but we don't really need to do that. We just need to hit save and close. And now what will happen is when we do any transaction for Kim Christian that involves pest control, it will automatically give her the 10% discount. And so let's do this. So we're going to invoice her here. Actually, let's just get back home. I'm going to create create the invoice. Designs by Kim Christian. It is. And net 30, is it also on September 1st? It is. And we're going to go to pest control. And what this should do is come in at that discounted price, which it did. If you saw it, it kind of switched it really quickly. It first loaded the full price and then switched quickly to the discounted price here. She's getting 2 quantity here. So here we go. And if you click this down arrow here, you can see the default sales rate, but here's that new pest control rule. And do we do anything else other than save this thing? I don't think we do. We don't. So we'll go in here, save and close, and then we will have this bill on the books, and we will imaginarily send it to Kim Christian, and hopefully she'll pay us. Okay. So we have sent out some of these invoices. Now we're checking the mail, and hey, some payments have come in for previous invoices that we have sent out. And to receive payment for them is pretty easy. We receive payment. You go under plus create, and receive payment is just under invoices. Okay, again, we see those pop-ups. Okay, our customer here is going to be Amy's Bird Sanctuary. So there's Amy's Bird Sanctuary. And you see here that this pops up is that it pops up the invoices that this particular company has out with us. These are bills that we've already sent. So, if we're receiving payment, it should be associated with an invoice. And here, when we put in the name of the business, it brings up the invoices right here that they have, taken out with us. And so in this case, they're paying a sum. It's still on that September 1st date. Do we want to put anything else? It is a check. And the number is 55841. Again, we want to make sure this goes to undeposited funds because it is a physical check that we are going to have to take to the bank. And the amount received here is $239. Looks like the original balance on this was $459. They have paid some of it, and they still have $239 to pay, which they are paying right now. And this should fill in both. Yes, fills in both of these. We'll see that this will pay off the payment or pay off the debt that they owe us. Is there anything else we need to add here? We could have, again, just clicked here and put that information in, but it kind of all fits. And that's it for that one. So we're going to record this and we're going to close it. And it'll take us back home. And here is this our last thing. A little bit more, just a couple of reports to do after this. But now we're going to make a bank deposit. So we have all of these transactions that have come in. We've made a sales receipt. We've received payment for that invoice. Now we have to make the actual deposit. We have to take this to the bank. And so now we're going to record the fact that someone went and did this. And it's under, as so many things are, plus create here. You're going to go here, and under other, we have bank deposit. Click here, and here are all of the transactions that we have, some that we did ourselves and some that were already in the system of, sales that we have made. Like in this case, we did the Edward Bruce landscaping and the Amy's Bird Sanctuary. So what are we going to, and we are going to deposit both of those. We want to make sure the date is right. Is it still on the 1st? It is. And there's nothing else to do. So what's going to happen now is that we are going to move these from undeposited funds to the checking account, which you could, if you had more than one checking account, you would put it in here. But we're going to, and if there were any other funds that we had to deposit that weren't a sale, like say, what would be an example? Let's say that there was a transaction that we did that was kind of outside the business. Was this landscaping? Yeah, like say, someone bought a, I don't know, bought something from us in the store. We didn't give them a receipt. We have some funds that we weren't sure what to do about it. Somebody finds a 50. We keep it for, a month, and we decide to just keep it. Add that 50 here. This is where you put any other funds that aren't associated with previous transactions. Not so great with the examples here, but anyway, here's the bank deposit, the two transactions that we've done. We're going to save a new, and what this will do is it will make this checking balance go from 1200 to what is this, like 1900, 1800. And so we'll save. I should have done save and close, but we can just do that and close that. And we go to our chart of accounts. Yep, chart of accounts, great. And we'll see right here it's 1980 that transaction, the deposit is reflected here. And this is where we want to see. Let me go in here to the register here. I'll just sort by deposits. And that's what we want. We want to see this deposit right here, not those individual transactions, but them put all in together as a single deposit. When you see split here, that just means that more than one transaction is involved in this deposit. And we have that one sales receipt and that one payment, which we can see right here. And that is pretty much that. Other than that is creating customer and sales reports. These are fairly easy. You just start at home, and you go to the report and you go to standard reports. And from here, you can search them here. That totally works, but you can also just start typing them here and it will come up. The one we want to look at here is customer balance survey. Ooh, I have all the caps on. Or excuse, not survey, excuse me, but customer balance summary. You click here. We have all dates, and we have this number is slightly different. I think it's because of some tax on the Bill's Surf Shop that I didn't click off. I think on Kim Christian too. So I actually, on those transactions, there was a place where there were sales tax was charged. And I shouldn't have done that, or I should have clicked it off and I didn't. So that's why these numbers are slightly higher than they should be. For instance, Bill's Windsurf Shop should be 120, and that would be the case if I had turned off the sales tax, but I forgot to, so it's slightly higher here. So we can look and see that, this is relatively close, and we can see that the difference is here because I forgot to do that. And that's the report that you would want to complete. And then there you go. Let's see, there's the options if you wanted to change them at all. And if you want to actually go, and we're going to actually do this a lot in the class, we go to export here. Let's say if we were going to turn this one in, we're not, but if we were, we would go to export, we would export it to Excel, and then it would be downloaded right here, and that's what we would turn in. That's for a lot of these homeworks, you're just turning in your reports, and then I can go into your actual file and see and check the details of everything. And there is another report that you would look at, and you would look at it the same way. You just go in here to reports, you'd search it, and you'd make sure and check all your dates. But I'm going to not do that because you do it all the same way. Whatever report you need from here, you can just get it that way. There are the favorites, and you can put different ones in your favorites. Your balance sheet, the P&L, which is, you may know it as an income summary, or excuse me, income statement. P&L is the same thing. And that's pretty much it. For this assignment, you'll be going into your Puppy Love company, adding some customers, importing some customers, doing some sales, doing some invoices, doing a deposit, and doing some reports. I think you'll end up doing 3 deposits, if I recall. Either way, if you have any questions about this, just let me know. I'm happy to answer them. And other than that, just good luck with your homework. Bye-bye.